Okay. About 2 weeks ago, you came in to me. You had been playing with a girlfriend's 5-year-old, just horsing around basically. And then the following day, you woke up with a stiff neck, unable to turn your head to the left, and got gradually progressed to the point where you were unable to turn it to either side.
Yep.
And your neck had stiffened up and you couldn't move your neck.
Basically, yeah.
And my recollection from my notes is that you had severe pain. You were in real agony.
Yeah, I couldn't do anything with my head, or else it sent pressure up to my neck, up to my head, or into the higher part of the shoulders, and it was bad. Like, I couldn't move the head at all.
And that completely disabled you, basically. You couldn't work, could you?
Not really, no. Not with the kind of work I have to do. It basically left me in a chair to do anything I could on a computer, but even that was sometimes not so tolerable.
And when you tried to move your head either way, to look over your shoulder, that was impossible because of the pain, right?
Yeah, no, that definitely made it hard. And if I even tried doing it and I did it the wrong way, I'd get that sharp spasm pain.
Mm-hmm. We gave you a support collar, which
Yep.
took a little bit of the pressure off that.
That helped.
But you were still in pain. And describe what happened to you as I gave you my therapy, which as I call the O'Connor technique. Just for the purposes of this video, just tell people what happened to you from your perspective without me prompting you.
Well, I thought it was going to be like something you get from a chiropractor, where you start seeing the quick jerking movements and the snapping, and you hear the really loud clicks. But this was more of I actually preferred it. It felt more like a stretch, and yeah, it hurt. Initially, off the bat, it was set up in a device that basically had me hanging off a table, gave me the ability to stretch out the neck, and then when the doctor started doing the different rotations and everything, it was uncomfortable at first, but after about a half hour in, I believe it was, and we finally get near the end, over a week and a half, I couldn't rotate my head around, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that, and then by the time we were done, I had felt so much better. Felt like I had that rotation back. I could move my head side to side.
So I restored your range of motion and took away the bulk of the pain.
Oh, absolutely.
Within took probably about an hour and a half. But,
yeah. And within a day and a half, the residual pain was gone too.
Yeah. You mentioned chiropractic. Had you ever had your neck treated with a chiropractor before?
No. Never been to a chiropractor,
Okay.
But that's all I ever hear about when it comes to spinal issues.
Now, did you have spasms of the muscles, the sternocleidomastoids on one side? Did I recall one of your muscles in the front was like tight and you couldn't move your head because of that?
It was a little bit of that sense, yeah. Like, I could even see it when I looked in the mirror. It felt like my chin was being pointed in a specific direction.
Right.
Which also made it feel like it was hard to chew and swallow as well.
Right.
Yep.
You couldn't move your head properly because this muscle was binding it up.
Yep.
That is the wry neck syndrome, or torticollis.
Okay.
And my technique can resolve that, as you're a witness to, basically.
Yeah.
Now you've got full range of motion. It's now 2 weeks out from, or has it been 2 weeks since we did the manipulation?
It's been since last Thursday. Today's the 21st. It's a Tuesday, like a little less than a week.
A little less than a week.
Yep.
So, for all intents and purposes, the pain you came in with initially is gone. The range of motion is restored, and you've got full range of motion. And did I sort of give you an understanding of this so as to prevent it in the future, and give you a a method to get out of the pain if you were to get in it again?
Oh, absolutely.
And
I even had to do it yesterday.
And you are basically you sort of became your own chiropractor. When you feel that piece slipping out, you're able to put it back in, and you can feel the crunch or click or whatever, and then within minutes you're better. Is that what you were telling me?
I don't think I'd be a chiropractor by any means, but for example, last night you spoke about flexion, and I caught myself, down on my phone, head was down. I came back up and I felt like a little stiffness had come back, and so I did that movement you had shown me where you utilize the couch to in order to pull the head away from the body, stretch it out, and then just kind of through motion of your head make everything kind of fit back in, and within about 5 to 10 minutes that stiffness was gone.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything slipped out per se, but
it was on its way. That's because you were in weight bearing flexion, that piece of mobile disc material was moving out, and you caught it just in time to put it back into the center before it got all the way out and hung up like it did before.
Yeah.
Which can happen from something as simple as playing with a kid on the floor, just roughhousing.
Yep.
You must have had some damage to your neck in the past. I don't think that roughhousing was what caused it, but there was the path where the piece got out already there, and just roughhousing migrated it out, and then it got hung up.
Yeah.
And then knowing how to put it back in, I did that, and you're better.
Yep.
So,
well, probably from being a kid, walking around always looking for coins on the ground. I've been on not a lot of flights, but I've been on quite a few flights where it was normal for me to fall asleep with my head down like this.
Right.
And I think you even mentioned, like, if you do that over a period of time, that the material that holds that in starts to wear out, and you can cause further damage because you fall asleep on the couch or something.
Well, that's a weight-bearing flexion, and it pushes the piece posteriorly, and then it gets hung up.
Right.
You're completely relaxed. You're nodding your head in weight-bearing flexion, and usually people do that in like a repetitive fashion. They keep falling asleep, and that milking of that forward, either using a computer or bending forward, puts that disc further and further out with each time, and then pretty soon it gets hung up, and then you can't extend and you're stuck.
Right.
But you're pretty much prepared how to manage that, and you have some tools to go into the future with to prevent that pain. Wouldn't you say?
No, I would. Yeah, absolutely.
And you wouldn't mind me using this as a testimonial on my website to tell people about my method?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Appreciate it.